is Lori Patch, and I came here with Levana Lomma to this beautiful courtroom, and I think we did really well. It's the people versus Ige, and the executive proclamations that are never ending, and it seems like our lawyer did a great job. I am in the lawsuit, so I'm really pleased with the lawyer, and I think that the state did not a very good job representing their case, so I'm really excited. Of course, it will go to the Supreme Court. We need to keep it going all the way, because if they deny us, then we'll appeal, but if we win, then the state will appeal. So it's win-win no matter what. May freedom prevail.
All right, aloha. How are you doing today, Levana?
I am doing so good, guys. I'm so excited. This is so great. I really do believe that there was at least two of those judges that were really, I can tell, like on our side. There was the one lady that said, she said, what about all the people that have been hurt out of all of this, and like it was amazing when she brought that up because, and of course, and she said, when does the emergency end? When does it end? If the governor is allowed to just keep declaring, that there's a continued emergency and there is no specificity to when a state of emergency ends, then when does it end, right? And that's what we were arguing, is that they put in there that there's a 60-day time limit for a reason. And that's because we have to have some kind of limitation on the governor's powers. Otherwise, we're living under a dictatorship.
Absolutely. And so, Levana, you're all the way over here from Kauai right now to take this to court. What specifically was the case about?
So this case is an issue of the state law. So what we are bringing into question is the fact that under Hawaii state law, Section 14D of HRS 127A, that the law is written where it says a state of emergency will automatically terminate after 60 days. And that's verbatim, automatically terminate, unless a separate proclamation ends it sooner, right? And so they want to try to claim that second part that talks about a separate proclamation can also mean that he can extend it by separate proclamation. And we're saying, no, that's not the case. That it's, the law is clear, it's unambiguous. And so we are asking them to rule in our favor that the state of emergency should be considered null and void, because otherwise, there's no limitation, there's no end in sight as long as the governor wants to keep claiming there's an emergency.
Absolutely. And then can you tell me a little bit about your attorney that you had here today?
Yeah, so Mark Victor was here arguing our case today. He's amazing. He's with Attorneys for Freedom. They have a law firm in Arizona and here in Honolulu, and he's actually running for Senate in Arizona. And he is all about freedom. This guy's pro-freedom, 100%, and he's started a movement called Live and Let Live, and that's all over the world now. And it's the basic idea that everybody has, dominion over their own body and how they want to live their life and how they want to dictate, their own health. And if you want to wear a mask, that's fine, you wear a mask. If you want to get a vaccine, go ahead, but don't try to tell other people that they have to, and that's what we've been fighting for from the very beginning, is just the freedom to choose. It's all about the freedom to choose. And, regardless of whether or not there is a state of emergency, this is America. We have the Constitution, we do things a certain way because we are a free people. Absolutely. And it is time for us to get back to that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Unbelievable what's happened to journalism. Journalistic standards, it's a travesty, and I'm very grateful for independent journalists that are really covering news, that are covering all sides of things. So I'm grateful for you. God bless you.
We're so grateful for you, sis. Thank you so much. And it's so interesting that you mentioned that, because today we had one person actually watching the news, and there was 2 court cases today that actually made the news, but this silent, absolutely silent.
No, the degree of censorship that's been going on. I remember there was a press conference that we held outside of Honolulu Hale, and a couple of the mainstream people were there, and I was having a conversation with one of them, and I mentioned ivermectin. I mentioned I was a physician, and that there was a lot of evidence that this was a drug that's been used safely. Billions of doses have been given in humans. And he's like, "Oh, you mean the horse paste?" This guy, supposedly a journalist, and all he knows about it is a sound bite that has been just magnified. It's been played over and over and over again in the media that is basically propaganda. He's just spewing back propaganda, and he wasn't really interested in listening to a physician tell him information about this FDA approved safe medicine. The guys that found it got the Nobel Prize in 2015. Wasn't interested. He knew the soundbite and he was going to repeat it. And I think it's sad what our journalistic standards have fallen to. So I'm grateful that there's independent journalists out there.
And the crazy part too with it comes from the soil. It is all natural. It is actually beautiful. And people always want to say horse paste, but there's actually different forms. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
There is a pill for humans, but at the same time, investigate private, like actually spend the time, listen.
No, they're not interested in that. They have their talking points and they're going to stick to them.
Yeah, and 35% of other countries are actually using it too.
Yeah.
You have an important title. Is it okay to use for this interview?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, get that information.
Okay.
Well, I am a retired pediatric radiologist. I have an MD from University of Chicago and did a fellowship in pediatric radiology, a residency in diagnostic radiology. I haven't practiced for about 2 decades. I've been raising my family. And so I am in a unique position because I have a medical background. I have practiced in the past, but currently I'm not practicing. I don't need to. So I don't have to worry about losing my income, losing my license if I speak out, which is what is keeping a lot of doctors silent. A lot of the doctors that are speaking out are retired, have some protection from that, or they're so outraged, they've got so much courage and so much integrity that they're willing to put it on the line to speak out and get that information out there.
And that's what we really need right now is everyone speaking out and speaking the truth. The silence is still compliance.
Absolutely.